All right, here goes part two, installing the MPP solar um, PIP-6048MT. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna mount it to this device here. So it's like when you have those, it look like those countertop, marble countertop, kind of like a plexiglass, but it's kind of thicker, and and this is kind of tough, guys, and it's thick. I think approximately it's gonna be an inch. Yeah, it's an inch. So if you look at it, it's an inch exactly by let's go through the length here, by 27 inches. So 1 inch thick by 27 by 21 width. So I'm gonna install this guy on this thing, maybe vertical or horizontal. So I end up buying this guy at Axeman. So I have a multiple of those, and those are installing my systems. You've seen that on the Victron as well, and I bought it for $12.95. So I purchased approximately one, two, three of these big ones. Then the round ones, I was gonna do like a table top, like outside. You can have like a beach or umbrellas. You can put a hole right in the middle, stick the umbrella stem all the way. So that's how I end up buying this stuff. But anyway, we're going back to the build here. Let's see how we're gonna fit this guy. So if we decide to go vertical the way it is right now here, we'll see how the inverter is gonna fit, or we can go horizontal. That gives us that 22 inches wide, the width. So let's put it in. So if I would have decided to go this way and mount it vertical this way. So I will save some spot on the corner where I'm gonna put some holes, drill some holes or up here, so that with this side will go up to the wall or where I'm gonna mount it. And this side here is gonna control channel right here all the way, like gutters, you know, and all the way down to the batteries, and to the disconnect, the AC disconnect down, and the battery cables and the solar. So I'm gonna put like a, you know, what I'm talking about, and they go all the way there. Or we decide to flip this guy horizontal, and we have more space here. I can able to fit even 2 inverters up here, but we have to remember the manufacturer specifications. What requirement they said you need to have these guys at a certain distance. So I don't know if we can able to put 2 inverters here due to heat. So they just want to make sure that if the inverter is a foot, and we go like this, so we don't have enough room, so we decide to come this way a little bit, so we don't have much here at all. So the fan's gonna be struggling, though we have approximately an inch from here, and we're not gonna have enough space. Some people would do probably install it, because the way it's sitting right now is like 14, almost 14 inches. If I took an inch off, so an inch, so it's too close. And this guy is a foot, so a foot, so we just got probably got about 2-3 inches off from the other one, which is not gonna be adequate for me. I'm not gonna feel comfortable like having these things very close to each other. Some people might install it that way, but I think I'm not gonna install it that way. Though I don't have any intention adding a second one here. I might have an intention like adding another charge controller here. But this guy, some people might not want to use the MPP inbuilt charger. They might probably want to use a guy like a Victron or Midnight Solar, Midnight Classic, or they can use for their monitoring to the software, because they don't want to do anything with this guy's software. They want to just see what's gonna happen. Maybe it's a Midnight Classic, or you can put Outback inverter or charger, sorry, and or Victron. They can fit in here perfectly. We can put a 250 volt Victron MPP charge controller, because it's a passive cooling system. It sits right there. That space is gonna be okay, because it's not gonna be like drawing any fans or struggling for ventilation. It's just a passive, and we can have all the other Victron stuff right here if we want to. So I'm just saying, guys, there's different things you can do when it comes to this application. We have more space up here, or if we decide to push it up a little bit and keep these ends right here, and we can able to drill hole where it's gonna mount to the wall. This guy is robust, is thick, and the trunking, that's the word I was looking for. If you get the trunking, so you can get the wires all goes like this, goes to where they're supposed to go. Even these guys can go your trunking, high gutters, trunking, and the PV. You isolate, keep all your wires nice and neat. That's the word I was looking for, trunking. So guys, this is the display port. This is the one that would plug to the display. I think this is the power, and this is all sending all information to the communication. So I don't know, I was gonna leave that spot right there for some reason, and maybe I can have the disconnect here. There we go. I can probably put the AC disconnect. If I have to do so, I'll push this guy right on the corner right here. I'll push it right on the corner. The reason I'm gonna push in the corner, so this side is totally useless. I don't need any of this side, only the PV side. So this guy, I can route the AC output or the AC input. I can put a disconnect up here. I can put a disconnect up here. Then for the AC input and the AC output, I can bring the wires, bring in the trunking right here, and build it, and come all the way up to the disconnect AC out 1 and 2. I can able to do that, or we build the breaker panel here, you know, with these kind of breakers. With these breakers, or these breakers here, we can set up a panel right here. Okay, we can have our stuff here, so I can get, that's exactly, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have, because it's easy to route from here. We go to the far away, we stay away from this guy, saved right here, or we have another one down here if we want to. It depends how we're gonna design this guy. The power comes all the way inside and outside. So the power input comes to from here, okay, and all the way here, and shoot all the way into the breaker, and the output's gonna go back this way and all the way out. So we can able to disconnect or isolate the output of the solar, which is going to be the control, or like a sub panel. We have a panel here that feeds to the main house changeover, which is automatic transfer switch, the transfer switch. So I think I'm going to leave it this way, horizontal, because if I decided to go vertical this way, I might face some trouble, but it's gonna be still, I think it's gonna be neater. But the only thing, we have a narrow path here, and we have all this space here. We can able to put a disconnect to come, a disconnect like breakers like this, for example, a breaker like that goes to the PV. We get a PV disconnect. So it's gonna be a disconnect like a PV. It comes in, and right away to the inverter. So I will disconnect right here. So when you do this thing, you have to really be careful planning. Then I can put a switch right here. I think this is exactly what I'm gonna do. So this is the setup here. I'm mimicking this thing or making a illustration. So this is how it's gonna look like. So we have the battery cable, the positive, this positive right here, and comes all the way to the battery on one of the lugs here, and this one goes to the battery. So for the on and off, while the other one, we can use the bottom one as the negative, the top one or the positive, or either one. But this one don't have a box. But I'm gonna use a blue seal, which has a box that is gonna be elevated this way, and or maybe I can put a wood underneath this to elevate this thing so it can be a little bit higher from the bottom, and so that the other wire can go down, which is going to be the negative, and the positive can be, or whatever. If I use the gutters and trunking, that's another thing again. It depends how high, how deep, which ones I'm going to have. So this one's going to be the solar. See the PV input. So I already have a 6. There you go. We can have something like this, but this is for AC, not for DC. Okay, we can have this set up here in a way. This is a 32 amp breaker for 6,000 amps or 400 volt. So we can able to take this guy, we can switch this guy here. We can switch this guy and bring it right there and use one of these other guys here as one of them is like an AC. I'm just trying to illustrate here. Then we can able to go on and off. We can use 2 line. We can do line 1, which is for output 1, output 2. So we can able to fit it right here. The neutral's gonna go on the other side. We only break the lines, which is the positive or the live and neutral. Or we can have 2 of these double pole and have them, one of them comes to the other one, another one comes to the other one. See what I'm saying here? So we can do that for the output, and this is going to be the input. So we're going to have some kind of a little bit trouble here because of the way the wires are set up. This is the box underneath here. That's going to be the input for the power input, AC input, and up here is going to be the output. So it's going to be a little bit of confusion here. This design, how MPP, the design that MPP created, is going to be kind of a little bit troubling here because the way you're going to route your wires if you want to put breakers on the way, unless I can take this breaker and move it on the side. I get all the outputs going to route, come down from this plate down, or maybe the other side, come down from here and feed it here. Okay, and I can have the other breaker. Let's simulate and take this other breaker off and set them here. Hold on. So I think this is the way. This is how I'm gonna set it. So if I have the other box, it's gonna sit right here. That disconnect. This is the gonna be the AC out. Okay, comes to the breaker. The on and off. This side top here goes to the house. Panel, main panel. This one comes from this guy, feeds underneath and goes out, and this guy here is going to be the AC input. So the line going to come back from maybe from the top right here, comes all the way and feed to the breaker and goes in here for, yeah, it goes the ground. live, and neutral. So single phase. So only 2 wires. So we're gonna bring the 2 wires. We can able to cut off 2 with a double pole, double throw, and we can able to go through here and feed, disconnect both legs, neutral and line. Okay, we have it this way, and we have this other guy will be on the other side here to have this wire come down from here and goes down in here. But if we decide to bring it closer, it won't work because I want it to be in a box, or you can put it on a DIN rail. So if we set up this way, then we have one breaker here that brings the power like a midnight solar baby box, single one that can have the breaker in there, because this guy can take up to about the solar PV comes in a 27 amps. 27 amps at 250, 450, can go up to about 500, 450. That's how you run it. So the solar input is a 27 amps. So I can say I get 27 amp breaker, or maybe a 30 amp breaker. Okay, or I'll put a 25 amp breaker right here. Maybe a 27 amp breaker is going to be hard to find, because when you push the power 25, the breaker has a leverage. It goes more than the 25. It can cover the 27, which before is going to trip. Okay, so we can put a 25 amp right here that goes right. I put a baby box here. I try to stay away from the fan so that the fan can able to the machine can able to breathe better, so I can have the box right there. I know the box I'm gonna be using anyway. You guys know midnight solar baby box, little one. I can throw this guy in for the solar, goes in here. Then the battery is gonna be this way. Then this is gonna be the AC input breaker box, which I think I had one of them. I think I shipped it overseas, but anyway, I think I have something laying around. Then I can put a box here, then I can put another box here, same box. I can buy the same little boxes with 2 breakers in there, and it depends on the amperage, the amps or the breaker I'm gonna put inside of boxes. So this is how I think I'm gonna set it up. So I have to make sure that I have to leave some space on the corner, because if they have to mount this thing, this guy has to be a hole right here. We're gonna drill in a hole right on the bottom, and the other side and there. So 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. So this is the configuration I think I'm gonna use to install this system. Tell me guys what you think on the description below, if I really make sense. But try to listen, try to pay attention to my illustration before you criticize something, because I'm struggling here trying to make sure how I'm gonna do this due to the design of the MPP solar. The box is here, there is another output up here, okay, and inputs here. So it's really hard to bring wires on top of the breakers. It's tough unless you bring the inverter very close down here. The wires are running, going to the trunking all the way down. But the way I have it, or already set it this way, I think is the best way, and I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work. If you have any other idea you think I should mount this thing, let me know. Tell me what your thoughts are, and we're gonna look into that. We're all gonna do this together. But I think this is the best way I'm gonna do this guy. The outputs, 2 outputs, so we can able to have like 2 breakers here, which is double throw. Okay, we can break both the neutral and live, and for line 1, output 1 and output 2. so we can have these breakers right here and shoot the power all the way to the distribution center or the main panel of the house. So if I do that, I think we gonna be really good, and the box gonna be having a ground, which is the output is only neutral and live, and this one, the input, is the only one that requires the ground. See that? The input requires the ground, the AC in. So this is, I think this is the way we're gonna set it, the way it is, and tell me what you think. But I think we got it all figured out. I'm gonna screw the inverter down and get this guy set up. I was gonna leave it because I don't know, the box might probably be wider, and I'm gonna compromise my spot right here. But for the design, it stays like this. I think it's gonna be a clean setup. What you think? Let me know on the description below. JW Solar USA, live from Minnesota. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.